Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler.
But
That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube. And every week, I got to remind myself the name of the other thing that I'm not on yet. Blue Sky fame. One of these days, I'm going to throw in just see if you're paying attention. I'll be like, of TikTok fame or of Tinder fame. I'm just going to start throwing different social medias in there.
Tinder. I
Tinder.
will
Can
never
you be
be.
famous on Tinder? I suppose.
Um,
I suppose you could. I'd
Probably
say
in a bigger city, or
infamous. Oh, a smaller
or
city. That'd be weirder.
or a smaller city.
I'll ask Jordan if he's ever used Tinder before. I'll see how that's gone for him in St. Leo. He's in Wichita now. Probably got all the choices. Anyway, Chris, did you do anything nerdy today you care to share your opinions about?
Sure, I did. Very nerdy thing. Woke up this morning. Well, actually, no. Anyway, woke up this morning because went to go donate blood. Did that. But
Nice.
before that, I was like, you know what? Let me go check in on Walmart. Went to the Walmart that I thought would have it because it's like, anyway, went to Walmart, walked straight up. Electronics. I said, I assume you guys don't have any Switch 2s. And then she was like, no, we have them. I was like, oh, cool. So yeah, we got plenty of them. I was like, great. I will take one. So yeah, that's what I did. My son has been very excited about Switch 2 ever since even before it was announced. He talks to me about it all the time, tells me all a bunch of different little information about it.
Bray or Isaiah?
The thing he did not. No, not Isaiah. Braden. Yeah, Isaiah doesn't. I mean, he'll play it. He loves playing it.
Just
But he's
didn't
not the
have
one
his
who's
brain
like,
wrapped around it quite yet.
yeah.
Fair enough.
One thing my son did not tell me was that Switch controllers will work on the Switch too.
Well, I didn't know
I
that.
did not know that.
Wait, like Joy-Cons or like Switch Pros?
That's a good question.
I knew Switch
Either
Pros
way,
would. I don't.
I don't know.
Switch Pros.
Either
Sure.
way,
Yeah.
I wish I'd known because I was like, all right, bought a Switch. There's 4 of us who plays. Need more controllers. I bought another set of the Joy-Cons because that's really all they need, honestly.
Yeah.
My youngest son isn't playing anything too crazy. Had I known that, I would have not had bought another set of things. So I just go and I drop probably like $600.
One of those days.
And yeah. I guess my strongest opinion is that it looks great. I downloaded Tears of the Kingdom, downloaded the like $9 extension thing to get the Switch 2 version of it. And it looks great. It looks, the game itself already looks great, but it looks like slightly better, but noticeably, but not to a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this, it looks amazing. I'm just like, oh man, I noticed the little slight differences. I do quick opinion right now. Switch 2 would be a fine enough console. It will be better received than the Wii U, definitely. But man, that next Nintendo console I think it's going to be amazing. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Chris, I hear batteries are bulging and GameStop is stapling receipts into screens and anything janky, or did you just turn it on and it worked and it was nice?
Batteries are what?
Batteries are already like swelling. People have had battery swell issues, which, I don't. So this is not me crapping on Nintendo, because I think if you make 1 million batteries for any device, handful of them go swell, such as life.
Yeah, Link Six Sigma says that like one of that million, like they try to get to the one in million.
And then they give you that speech about like, well, what if 1 in 1 million planes crashed? Why is that important? And it's like, well, it's 1 in 1 million. Still, this many planes, every 2 years, whatever. They give you the whole the neat spiel. What 1 in 1 million surgeries went bad, or what? I don't remember what it is. But cool. I look forward to getting one someday, but probably more just as a venue to play my current Switch games better. But Mario Kart World excites me, and that Donkey Kong game that excites me. And I'm sure there'll be other things that'll come along that will
Oh,
also excite me. But yeah, cool. Glad it's going well for you. Chris, my week, I got baby giggles, first baby giggles. Really, it's like two, like instead of a gig, there's like two gigs, hence it's a giggle. That's a big deal. And then trying super hard to, not trying hard, it's just, it's on, it's going fine. Watching One Piece is my background show during the workday. And it has some admirable qualities, but I swear every time I look up, it'll be like an hour. It'll be like the same thing happening as when I looked up an hour ago. It's got to be the worst offend. It's not episode padding in the sense that there's episodes that you just throw away because they're not good. It's episode
mm,
padding in like the Dragon Ball Z way,
yeah.
in that sense. So maybe it's just a shonen thing. Is Dragon Ball Z, is that shonen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so maybe it's just a shonen trope. But
Yeah, and
hey,
it's for that time, for that period of time. There was a lot of. They don't do that at all really anymore.
they
I want
can't
to say that
because
stopped at.
streaming it is would be horrible. Like any show made since the dawn of streaming would be atrocious.
And
But
also, the audience are trained to like, oh, we're not going to get a new episode every week. We're just
mm,
used to new. Well, we're just used to one season of like 26 episodes, and then we wait another year
that's
for another
true.
season of 20 something episodes. When back in the day, it was like, nah, we kind of want a bunch of episodes.
But I will persist because I like noise on in the background. So I work. Right now, I'm looking at the TVs. I work in the corner. I can't even see the TV really. I turn it and I can see it out of the corner of my left eye. Kind of. I just like the noise. So I'll persist. If anything, if there's a show that I'm going to have on during the day, it's probably better one that you don't have to pay 100% attention to all the time. So I'll persist. It's got admirable qualities, It's adventure and friendship and pirates, and those are all cool things that I like in my TV shows. But that's been my week, and yeah, Chris, this week we're going to pick apart one of people's favorite Avatar controversies. I think we put it like qualm on the nitpick to umbrage scale. We had it as like a qualm, but we're gonna
Hmm.
pick apart one of people's favorite Avatar things from
I
ATLA.
think I think I would probably raise it above a qualm after much initial watchings. The thing is, it probably started off being nothing, honestly. Especially the
Nit
first time you watch it, it's
started
just
off
like,
nitpick at best. Over time, he
yeah,
has elevated from
yeah.
nitpick to qualm to take
It's a tick issue.
take issue. Is there something between qualm and take issue? I never wrote them down. I feel like there needs
I
to
wrote
be
them.
like qualm's too small to jump straight to take issue. That's too big.
Hmm.
Somewhere in between. If there's
Hmm.
something in between there, like a 3 out of 5, that's where I would be willing to place this. You
Let
did
me
right.
look
Oh,
through
good.
my notes. Qualm.
Just to remind us, nitpick is the lowest. That's 1 out of 5. Qualm 2 out of 5. In my head, take issue with was like 4 out of 5, and take umbrage with is 5 out of 5. I was thinking there was another one in there. Could be mistaken, but it's that one.
Maybe I didn't write that. I did. Umbridge?
We'll just had to
How would I
make
have
it up.
spelled Umbridge?
I don't either. In my head, I spell it like Harry Potter spells it, but I don't actually think. I think that's a different word. I think Harry Potter did that, like on purpose, of course.
I must not have it in my notes. I thought I did.
Okay. Well, if somebody
But
thinks of the thing, if there is a thing between qualm and take issue with, for me, it's there. For Chris, maybe it's higher. Maybe it's take issue. And
oh, I got it here. I got it here. It goes. How did I not find this before? Oh, I don't have Umbridge in here. That's what. Okay.
probably because we
It
couldn't
goes
spell
nitpick.
it.
Yeah. It goes nitpick down here.
Sure.
Qualm. Pet peeve.
Okay, that's it. That's it.
Take issue. Take exception.
Oh, I forgot that one.
And then maybe Umbridge was nuts.
Take exception sounds really indignant, like two angry neighbors squabbling over like a fence. It sounds very, very indignant. I like that. Yes,
Yeah.
I'd say this for me is probably peeve territory.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna take issue right now. But you
Okay.
haven't said what it is yet.
Yeah,
So
the thing that we'll be picking apart, and more importantly, we'll be rewriting. I say off the cuff. We already accidentally recorded this and didn't record it one time. I did. So off the
well
cuff
we
last time.
we accidentally didn't record it.
This time it's polished. We've rewritten it for you, and that's in the final battle in the finale of Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Aang, who cannot enter the Avatar state because his one of his chakras is closed, and he gets hit really hard, and he comes down and he lands on a pointy rock that seems out of place, and he lands on it, and he doesn't kill him, but rather it opens his chakra, and he's able to enter the Avatar state. And I tried my best to give away several of the grievances that we have, all in that sentence. Um, and we have some thoughts about how to rewrite that. Chris, do you want to offer one of yours? I think you kind of had two paths previously. Do you want to offer one of yours, and then I'll offer mine, and then you
Um,
offer your last and most favorite?
okay, I think if I'm remembering, I think I think my first one was just remove it out of the picture. Like just how was it? Was it yeah, pretty much it would just be better written if it wasn't even a thing.
Agreed. Agreed. And Chris, then what's your method for Aang getting into the Avatar state? Assuming that you do want that to happen and you want the good guys to win.
Geez, I feel like I'm
I can do. I remember
uh,
mine pretty
yeah,
well, and you might feed off
okay,
of
you
that.
good. Yes.
So Chris, in my thought process, which similar to yours, it's like just remove the pointy rock because the pointy rock should have killed him. People land on pointy rocks like that. That's not what happens. He hits the ground really hard, and he has this somewhere between like life flashing before his eyes, or just this the a monument of a scene, but that's all happening in like an instance of a real life instant. But in his consciousness, it's like a full scene, and he hits the ground really hard. Basically in real life, he's either passing out or almost passing out, and he has the kind of the life flash before his eyes moment. And he gets to the point where, in his life, as it's flashing, he's with Guru Patik, and it's almost like he relives that moment. And through reliving that moment in his subconscious, he, at this point, is able to make the choices he needs to make to allow the chakra to open. So even though it's a big thing happening in his mind, and it's all happening in an instant in reality, but just that's all it takes. This big impact, this him on his deathbed as he's dying, maybe aided by the Avatar state. Right, he's dying, and his last mechanism of defense is trying to come to his aid. And as he's going through his life, he is able to stop in that moment and make that choice that he couldn't make before to open that chakra. And then he enters the Avatar state, and then from there on, it continues as is. And then I think that your first idea had similar vibes to it. I believe there were past avatars in play in your thought process.
Yes. I'm just it's funny that I just completely forgot what we talked about last week. Once I completely forgot, but so I, you, I think he's still in this. I think how you explain, he's in kind of a life or death situation, right? Um, well, not life or death. He's like on the verge of
Precipice of death, yeah.
about to die. Yeah, somewhere around there. And I think during his training with Guru Patik, we change a few things up to set up this change in the finale. And that change would be don't make the last chakra open up by being like the last chakra opens up by saying like accept, connect with the cosmic energies and stuff, detach yourself from the world. That's essentially, which that lesson in of itself is like a weird. It's not, and that's not even the lesson you learned in the show. But if that's the way to power, then
Ew.
uh, yeah, detach yourself from the world. That's the thing you're trying to say. And also, it was like let go of your earth, let go of like guitar and stuff. I think if you change that requirement for that last chakra gate, not chakra gate, I'm thinking of Naruto now. That last chakra being open, um, if you change that requirement to something along the lines of like acceptance or accepting who you are and taking responsibility and ownership, all of that part of that, then that would lend itself to at the end here, right? At the end, if we have Aang in a life or death situation, even if you want to put him in in the ball, if you will, if you want to put him there, it doesn't really matter. Just any type of situation where he is about to die, and in his state of fear, he kind of gives himself over to the past avatar, saying like yeah, like I went to you for advice, and you guys are right. Like I'm a little kid, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Please, someone come and take this responsibility from me. And then they're like, all right, bet, Ang, let's do this.
I
Like,
submit to the
but
power of the Avatar state. I submit,
yeah.
I accept my full slate of responsibilities as the Avatar.
Well, well, in this case, he would be running away from it. Right. So like he doesn't. He almost wants someone to come in and control him like a puppet because he wants to be kind of absolved of it. He wants also to. In this little part, he's running away from responsibility because he's giving it to this past avatars to do it. And so like Aang almost has this out of body experience where he's watching where the avatars take over his body. And in this case, just because I like the visualness of it, like they fully manifest as each avatar. So he goes through the cycle, starts with the ancient, beats the crap out of uh Ozai, then it goes to um Korra, beats the crap out of Ozai, Kyoshi continues to just, we'll give her even bigger, beat the crap out of Ozai. Then Roku, and it has a good weight of like, okay, it has to be Roku. Like as the audience member, you're looking at it and you're like, all right, well, of course it's going to be Roku who delivers this final blow. He has to absolve himself for his own shortcomings. And then you kind of put also Ozai in a just fear and just begging for mercy and stuff. And Roku's just this almighty, powerful spirit looking, down to smite him. And Aang, in a certain points, takes back control because same way he does in the show, because it's like that's not who he is, and now he's going to take responsibility for it and fully um, do things his way and not just leaving it up to others. And then so he fully takes responsibility, fully takes and owns that identity as the avatar. Um, and that comes full circle, from his arc, right? Of like, he first ran away from responsibilities. You end it with him fully embracing every aspect and responsibility of being the avatar. Um, that might be a a good resolution.
Especially as long as that hurdle when he originally comes across Guru Pratik, as long as it still makes sense that at that point, right, that he's
Yeah.
still that rule or that requirement that he still can't get past that. I think how you described it makes enough sense, right? He's not ready to submit to those ideals in that moment, and then essentially, he runs off to save his friends or attempt to. Right, so high pressure situation. I think I can completely get behind that. I know you and I have different feelings on the physical manifestations of the other avatars. I don't dig it. Can it be a spirity? Can it be a spirity visage of a previous avatar as opposed to a
I
physical
mean,
manifestation?
it would be like when Roku took over his body.
I can't. Now I'm having trouble picturing what
When Roku
that
in
looks
the
like.
temple,
Yeah, is it
It's kind of it's kind of spirity because he's kind of in a he's not like fully Roku. Like
Okay,
he looks like a spirit.
I'm gonna have to Google that in a minute. That part I'm completely okay with. What I'm not okay with
No,
is this getting into Netflix show territory where it's just Kyoshi, just physical in the
no, it wouldn't
flesh.
be. I mean, hey, I would still take it because
No, that's not the
love it.
part of the that's not the part of the
That's
Avatar that persists, Chris. That's
it's
stupid, and I hate it.
if they wrote it that way and they follow the rules of their show, it makes just as much sense as anything besides the kill of physical fish with the physical with the spiritual knife. That makes no sense.
That's still my favorite part.
It's what you saying. It's a
No,
real fish, right? Yeah, they're real fish.
just
Why do
regular.
I need a spirit? Why do I need a spirit knife? Let me just get a fishing hook and
It's a
fish still hungry, right? Okay.
it's a figurative
Yeah.
fishing tale where it's like we can only kill this fish with a spear this big and this spiritual. Figurative. I think Chris, I can't remember for sure, but it feels like you had another path that you also offered.
I I might have Shawn, and I can't remember what it was. Um. Oh my gosh, what was it?
I
Hmm.
maybe this is what we settled on because we liked it so much that we're like, hey, that's a good answer right there. But well, we talked a little bit about the commentary,
Yes.
and then that Mike and Bryan explicitly left certain things a little vague. Not just here, right, but several spots in the show, but on purpose left some things a little vague. And I think something that we arrived at was that we were both completely fine with it initially, and it just is upon further examination, like, okay, maybe this could have been cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, and I mentioned my rankings of plot conveniences because it is a plot convenience,
Mhm.
and the whole reason why I brought this up as a episode topic is that in the early state, I wouldn't say in the early, kind of thinking about it over a year now. Holy crap! Um, anyway, in our plotting out Kitsune Etsuzeto, thinking about plot conveniences and
Mhm.
stuff. And so I came to had epiphany that about plot conveniences because every single story has plot conveniences, every single one. But and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This is the rules. Plot conveniences can work if it's used, and it can work, and it is expected and accepted if it's used to set up a plot. Right? It's like, what are the coincidences that Aang would meet Katara and stuff like that's or that Katara would hit that thing iceberg. They will meet right there at that right in time. Like that's setting up the plot. It's fine.
That's how
I
stories
expect
start.
yeah, I expect plot conveniences. Plot conveniences can be used seldomly to advance the plot, right? But plot conveniences should be avoided, if at all, to solve a plot problem or to as a plot resolution. And in this case, it is definitely a plot resolution because they're going into it thinking, "How's Aang going to defeat the Fire Lord?" That is the big question on everyone's mind. How's Aang going to defeat the Fire Lord? Also, the big question is, can he? Actually, the bigger question that they pose is, can Aang kill? Should Aang kill the Fire Lord? Which really the bigger question should be, can Aang defeat the Fire Lord? And how he's going to defeat the Fire Lord? Um, like they're getting ahead of themselves, honestly. I mean, they bring it up and stuff, but so that's still a big question of how he's going to defeat the Fire Lord, and they answer it with he's going to unlock his chakra randomly and magically through getting his back hit with the Poke Rock at
Almost the
just
opposite,
the
Chris.
perfect time.
Randomly and unmagically. It's
Yeah,
very non-magical. You
yeah.
to quote
Uh,
to quote Abed, you unmiraculous son of a bitch.
Abed,
Abed,
oh, Racket.
miraculous. Abed, get the door. We're doing a bottle episode.
um, which also I brought up last time that I've listened to every single Mike and Bryan interview I could possibly ever get my hands on. Like I've probably literally I've listened to every single one. And sometimes, they get asked questions, whether it's about like airbenders coming back or just certain things. And sometimes, they'll get questions about things that are kind of hard to explain. And sometimes they'll just be like, "Oh, it's the universe works itself out. Universe is always trying to kind of get back into balance and stuff." And it's like that's a pretty lazy answer. Like,
Mhm, mhm.
and I never heard them use the universe excuse for the Pokey Rock thing. But like, I'm sure if someone asked Mike and Brian about what's up with the Pokey Rock, they'll probably be like, "Man, the universe is kind of working its way."
Like when you
Sometimes I will,
like when your mom doesn't know how
I
to
will,
explain something, she's like, "The Lord works in mysterious ways," and you're like, "That's not the right place for that answer," but all right, fine.
or just because I said so.
Or just
My because I said so doesn't work as well as my dad's because I said so. Mhm. There's, but also I know that my kids don't fear me as much as I fear my father. That sounds really. I mean, anyway,
yeah, context, everybody,
good, good,
context.
yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
I was the biggest offender of, I gotta because I said so, and then I'd leave the room, and then I'd finish the argument by myself in a different room to make sure I won. If mom or dad's like, "'Cause I said so," and then I go back in the other room and be like, "That's stupid because," just to myself to validate my feelings.
That's probably healthy. I
I
never did
doubt
that. I
it.
was just
I
like, well,
doubt it.
I gotta accept it just
I
because
think
they
if you
said so. They are the universe, and they what they say just goes and happens into law because they speak it into existence.
I had enough older siblings to know that it's like, "Nope, Shawn, you're just priority number 4 on the out of 4 right now, and that's why you're getting that answer." Happens best
And then
with
then we went back and looked at the commentary on it just to see if they mentioned anything about trying to explain
mm,
the Pokérog, and they didn't.
and I
They
didn't.
did have
Mhm.
a Zutara bash, but
Yeah. And did we I think we talked about worst plot holes, and the worst one I can come up with was Ready Player One, the stupid way that he escapes from paying off his debts in their little internment camp. And I don't know if we had any other really bad ones, but anyway, Chris, that being said, final thoughts on rewriting Aang to polish. I think we've polished it up, but still well within canonical acceptances.
uh, yeah, I think we kind of covered everything. Well, I mean, we probably did. We probably missed something that we recorded last week
Mm.
that you can hear. You can listen to your one half of the conversation to try and surmise if you want to.
Published that on this week's. When you subscribe to the channel, you get the uncut. That's just me talking to nobody. That'd be amazing. No, sorry, the opposite. That'd be amazing sarcastically. But well, in that case, Chris, thanks for sharing your thoughts. We'll be back again next week. My name's Shawn. That's Chris, my friend, aka the Objective Geek. I said that out of order. It messed with my brain. I'll put this stuff in the description. Likes, comments, subscriptions, thumbs up, bells, positive reviews, whatever you want to interact with us. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.